Well, hello, my beautiful Sagittarians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Sagittarians, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. But before I even start, I'm hearing a song. It's a really well-known song, but I'm also seeing an image with it. And there's a connection. So I'll just tell you what I see before I start, and maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not. Let's see how the reading pans out there. But I'm hearing very famous song, in the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. That's the lyrics I'm hearing right now. But also I'm seeing like a little monkey, okay? It looks like a capuchin monkey. I think that's how you say it. And actually, I do remember from, way back when, there was actually a scene in the TV series Friends. And I think there was a monkey and they actually sing that song. So I'm not sure what the connection is. Perhaps right now you've got a lot on your mind regarding your friends, or perhaps this is, you trying to rewild yourself in some way. If you think about the song, the jungle, the lion sleeps tonight, and then there's a monkey. So there's very wild animals in what I'm getting already. So it can be that you're tapping into your instincts at this time, or perhaps, it's safe for your wild side to come out and enjoy yourself, or you want more fun. Monkeys typically tend to represent fun, cheekiness, and all of those things. So perhaps you feel like you've been laying dormant for a little while and you want to have more spontaneity, more fun, be a little bit more free. So that's something that was just coming out before I've even started your reading. So I'm just going to leave that there. It may be relevant in some shape or form. Monkeys are very intelligent and they adapt quickly to change. So a lot of you, symbolically, this could be that, you are using your smarts to remain flexible in life, no matter what life is throwing at you right now. I feel like you're trying to, in some way, navigate change and perhaps move on from something and recognize that, you are safe and secure to do so. And let's see how the cards go. I'll just leave that image there. I had to mention it because if I don't, then the energy gets stuck in the reading and I'll see no more images and it's harder for me to connect. So let's move on with your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Sagittarians? What do they need to be aware of at this moment in time? What are they moving through? And what lies on the other side? So the first card there is the Seven of Cups. So you may be feeling like you've got so much going on right now. There's moments of feeling a little bit scattered. I feel there's an energy of you kind of trying to limit distractions right now as well. We have the Ace of Swords crossing. So you're hoping for a breakthrough. You may feel like there's so much responsibility. You're pushed and pulled in many different directions right now. You're wearing many hats in life, okay? You're holding it all together with that Seven of Cups. This can be that, on a very deep level, you're focused on your visions for your future, but also there's this energy of like daydreaming for a breakthrough because we have that Ace of Swords there. Something isn't fair when an Ace of Swords is crossing your position at this moment in time. We've got the Queen of Cups, a need to take good quality care of yourself. And of course, we got the Temperance card in the past position. Now, this can indicate that you've outgrown a part of yourself, or you feel like you are out of sync in some way with your life at this moment in time, and you may feel that you've detached from a part of yourself because the Temperance card is in the past position and it's a Sagittarius card. So you may feel that, you've been walking a path patiently and you feel that you've been leaning into your sense of purpose at this moment in time, but things got a little bit chaotic. You're trying to retain a sense of balance, but something about you just doesn't feel the same way. So let's tap into that a little bit more as we move forward. We've got the Knight of Wands. There's your passionate wild side, okay, to be a little bit more spontaneous. There is an energy that comes out consistently in your readings, and this is over the last couple of years. And I always say that it feels like, my beautiful Sagittarians, like life, responsibility, and the seriousness of the day-to-day, whether it's something that is personalized to you or the world at large, it feels like it's threatened to clip your wings in some way. But I feel like you are regaining your wings in some way, trying to get a little bit more active, get a bit more involved there, and find your passions, lead with passion. But I feel it's more about that spark. And I feel you want a little bit more adventure there. We've got the Fool card. Some of you are reimagining your life in order to maybe take a leap of faith or be more spontaneous with that Fool card energy. A lot of you want some sort of fresh new beginning. Maybe you're reimagining a path that you're on already in order to keep it fresh. But, I will tap in a little bit deeper there. We got the Five of Wands, a little bit of an inner battle regarding perhaps your circumstances, or you feel there's a lot of conflict right now and you're an empath with that Queen of Cups there. You're absorbing either other people's drama or, people around you. For example, if you're out day to day, I would say protect your energy, because sometimes you may start off first thing in the morning feeling great. Then you may, walk out there, pass people, go on the subway, and suddenly you're feeling like your mood has been chipped in some way. You just feel drained. Maybe you're picking up or absorbing other people's energy. Some of you have a need right now to protect your energy. I would always say carry a black tourmaline with you or a black obsidian with you, because it just limits the amount of negative energy or limits the amount of energy that is drained from you from other people. And it doesn't just have to be like on the subway. It can be, if you're at work or you come across really negative people who just always find a reason why they can't do something, or, I feel right now you're in a period where you need to just close off your energy to make sure that it's retained for you. Okay, so that's coming out there as well. We got the Seven of Swords. Now the Seven of Swords is an energy of mistrust, but also it's an energy of independence. Some of you may feel like you are misunderstood in a situation as you strive for independence, and maybe someone has an expectation they have thrust upon you. You should be doing something that fits into their box of expectation, but you're like, no, I'm freewheeling, doing my own thing. You're not following a path that other people want you to be on. We've got that Four of Pentacles there, the Knight of Swords, and we've got the Two of Swords. Okay, so this is an energy of having to make a decision, maybe a big lifestyle choice decision right now. And, you want to get moving ahead on something, but it's hard. You have a lot of sevens energy here, and this tells me that you're at the fork in the road. You're trying to find the right path on something, and you're ruminating on which course of action to take. I always say, with that Two of Swords, it means quiet time, protect your inner peace, remove yourself from drama or the noise of the everyday, as it were, in order to really work out how you feel about a situation or a person or an environment. And that Two of Swords, there's always a figure on a Two of Swords, especially in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, that has two swords up like that crossed. So that means, private time or quiet time, or protecting yourself against any distractions in this moment. And this card in particular, all those hands, it tells me that a lot of you are super busy and you're trying to limit distractions because you have a lot on right now, a lot on your mind. You're making some big changes in your life. I would say the last couple of years, you've dealt with monumental change and you're hoping for it to come to some sort of structured or balanced position where you feel like you know where you're at. Okay, because things seem to be so changeable right now, especially since you've got a Seven of Cups there. So looking at this energy, this is like choice. It is options. You're looking at your options right now and trying to prioritize what's important for you. And in that process, you may have, of course, prioritized responsibility, duty, or what you need to do to run your life. And that may have come at a cost of a little bit more fun, spontaneity, passionate kind of spark. When you're in like say a fight or flight response mode, sometimes, we go on a system in our body to regulate our emotions, our day-to-day activities in a vein where we feel, okay, this has to be the structure in order to make sure that life works and that we have a foundation, because you have a Four of Pentacles there, so that you feel secure. So it can be that you are locking off or have locked off other energies or other avenues at this time in order to be in self-preservation mode, or, really like work out what's going on. Because the Seven of Cups can indicate some of you have been feeling there's a need to search for something more, or you feel like you're in a big soul-searching period in your life, and you're feeling a little bit, I wouldn't say lost in all of that, but I feel like you're doing a lot of questioning. Like, what's it all about? What's going on? Why is there so much imbalance in the world? With that Ace of Swords, it's in a crossing position, so you read it in the reverse as well as the upright there. So it can indicate that there's a lot of pressure. There may be an energy here of feeling like something is a little bit off, and maybe you can't put your finger on it, because the Seven of Cups is like, is it this? Is it that? What is it? So I feel like you're doing a lot of research right now about a gut instinct on something that feels like it's not fair, or it's not right, or it doesn't sit well with you. So, this could be something that is connected to a friendship, perhaps. Maybe you feel someone isn't telling you a truth, or you feel someone is, I'm not sure. Ace of Swords is all about communication, but it's also about thoughts. So it's a crossing card. You may feel that either someone is being dishonest, or is withholding information, or has told you an untruth. You're not sure how you feel about this. Perhaps you're looking at investigating the information or the truth on something. You may have felt like you give so much of yourself to this person or this environment, especially with the Queen of Cups there. That means you're an empath. You're feeling something's not right, okay? Especially when your foundation card is the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is an energy of, feeling a little bit uncertain or a little bit unsure. I feel also it's important to recognize that the Seven of Cups is about your commitments and your choices, and I feel like you have a lot on to have the Seven of Cups. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a figure looking at all the cups, and each cup has something different in there, and that really connects to this Two of Swords there with all those hands. It's like you got so much on right now that perhaps you don't even know which one to prioritize first. You're doing so many things, right? But this reading is not about things outside of yourself. It is about things inside of yourself, okay? And this card can indicate that you're feeling a little bit like, it's almost like you feel scattered in your choices. You have your goals, your dreams, and you're locked on to the vision of what you want. Don't get me wrong. I see that there's a lot of success here for you. There's a lot of movement forward here, but also it just feels like in this card, especially with the Seven of Swords there, there's just this energy of you feeling like something's off, or there's like a major deception, or there's like a major something. I'm not even sure what the energy is that's coming through here. This may be something that's global that you're feeling, like there's something that feels a little bit like not right, and you can't be the only person seeing that with that Seven of Cups there. But it says here you're searching for purpose, okay? And I feel there is this energy of you making some major lifestyle kind of changes or decisions right now, and you're trying to trust your instincts and your intuition in order to lead the way. You may be uncertain about the path of whatever this is, but I feel like you are on course to be honest with yourself, lead with authenticity, and you're going to be on the right path. I want you to be aware of that. Whenever you get a Knight of Swords as an outcome energy, it means that, you're responding differently to the circumstances that you find yourself in. And I feel like you've definitely changed from the person that you've been like maybe 5 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. I feel something within you is changed, and now you're encompassing a different way of dealing with life, or there's a different response response, okay? And I feel here that this indicates that the actions you're taking right now will be for your highest good in the future. Your future self will thank you for really trusting that you need to explore a different avenue or something different in your life. I know this reading sounds like, what is she talking about? But, you know, I have to trust my guides that they're giving me the exact energy that I need for this specific message. You know, these readings tend to be very precise, so it may not resonate with everyone there. But, you know, this is your foundation card. I didn't choose your cards. This can indicate that you have been feeling a little bit scattered recently because you have so much to do. You're literally like, I'm being given the sentence, flying by the seat of your pants. It's like you're responding to life because it's so fast paced, or you feel time is, you know, really speeding up somehow. And it feels like, when did it get to this? When did you have so much to do that you haven't been able to focus on your own needs or give back to yourself? You know, I really feel here there's an energy that you are, you know, I feel like you have taken on a lot because life has demanded that of you. And the core of you is like, can I do it all? And the answer is yes, but do not forget yourself in all of that. Do not neglect your own needs within that. And, you know, it also says here, choices and daydreaming. Now, of course, daydreaming is important. Back in the day when you're at school, perhaps, certainly when I was at school, the teacher would always be like, hey, snap out of it. Stop daydreaming. We're on page 7. Start reading. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I didn't realize at the time that, you know, all these visions that I was having, there were certain visions that came towards me of my future, but also visions of things that perhaps were really random, connected to the world and things. I was like, why am I seeing that? So I was pushing that away, but I would get lost in it. I didn't realize. But, you know, visions are important because they help you manifest. We've been told like to daydream is somehow to feel scattered or it's negative. It's not that you're being precise, but actually it is the first step towards manifestation. So I would say, you know, run with your visions. I feel this is about channeling your energy into the vision of the lifestyle that you choose to aspire to. You know, I feel you're in a really monumental moment in your life where you can make a decision. And you can run with that decision, and it is going to work out in your favor. Actually, it brings you to a lot of peace. But I do feel, whoever I'm picking up on here, all your cards are highlighting that there is a decision that needs to be made. And, you know, you've been given a period of stillness right now in order to work out what that is. Okay, so that Ace of Swords is an energy of not sitting on the fence because it is in a crossing position. It's like you doing what is right for you with that Ace of Swords. I mean, this also tells me a major breakthrough is coming for you, and where you felt stuck or where you felt on pause, you're going to be very active very soon in a different type of way, because I feel like you are super busy right now and active in a certain way that perhaps is overwhelming sometimes. But I feel like the changes you're making right now, lifestyle changes, I mean, I feel like you're literally looking at overhauling your life in some way, looking at the different compartments and components in your life that make life work for you. So you could be looking at like mindfulness right now, looking at your diet, exercise routines, you know, things that inform your body and help you feel aligned, because the Seven of Cups is not an alignment. It means an energy of like, you know, you're thinking of that and you're doing this and then you're going to be onto this. And it just feels like there's an energy that needs to bring you back to self. Okay. Because as you can see there, you know, that is an energy of many versions of you, right? And the Seven of Cups is like many versions of you, but like all over the place, feeling like you got to do all the stuff. You have maybe a time limit, or, you know, you need a little bit more structure. It feels very much like you're still going to be many versions of you doing what you got to do day to day, right? But they co-align in your future. It feels like everything slots into place or comes together as it should. So I feel that there is an energy here of needing to consider your options on something. I feel it's a lifestyle choice or a lifestyle decision that you're making, and you're being like super honest with yourself. You're tackling it head on. This is a card of taking accountability and responsibility to lead in your life. And you know, it says here, clarity, sharp mind, and breakthrough. Interesting that it crosses the Seven of Cups, which can mean that, you know, you feel clouded. There's so much on your mind, and there's so many ideas or so many things informing how you should navigate your life right now. And you're like, well, which one is true, or which one is the right path? Okay. So let's, like, for a moment, bring it like outside of yourself. You know, the world has changed in the last couple of years, and, you know, everybody is trying to like retain a sense of purpose and also connect to themselves in a more grounded way. So you may feel, especially since we've got that temperance energy in your past position, you may feel there was a little bit more balance in the past, or you felt like you knew yourself a little bit more in the past. And now you're doing a lot of questioning. And with questioning comes discovery, of course. But sometimes when we feel a little bit like lost in the questioning, we may feel like we're not sure of the direction, even though the goal will remain the same, as it were. So I feel a lot of you with that Seven of Swords, this is an energy of working out the truth of your situation, rather than it being like people lying to you or deception. But I mean, we are living in terms of planetary alignments in the era of great deception, where things are revealed, truths are revealed, things that have been hidden are revealed. And, you know, you may be trying to find your place in all of that right now. And you're most importantly locking on to your own personal truth. So, you know, you are taking action on your visions and you're not wanting to waste your time. And that can make you feel like you're under a time limit. But I want you to be aware, breathe. Because what is meant for you will never pass you by. You will have time. You're going to reach the destination that you want to get to. And of course, life is very demanding, but you were given a journey that you are strong enough to take. And the Ace of Swords is an energy of having lots of ideas, being clear in your account as to what steps you take next. But in order to get this clarity, you must sit with self in order to weigh up your options. I mean, this card with this card is like you weighing up your options right now. I mean, this card is beautiful, but it doesn't pictorially give you a sense of what the Seven of Cups actually means. And that's why I reference the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, because it's really about looking at every eventuality. If you look at all the cups in your life, right, and you're like, okay, that one could bring me this, and how do I feel about that? Because you're asking yourself right now with that Queen of Cups, how do I feel about it? Long term, how do I feel? What will my life be like in 5 years' time if I choose that path? What will my life be in 5 years' time if I choose that path? They're all going to give you something a little bit different. So I feel like this is about exploring all of the opportunities and the pathways right now. And there's going to be one that makes you, number one, feel something, kind of like an affinity with it. Intuitively, your gut instinct is going to kick in and make you feel a little bit more emotional about it in some way with that Queen of Cups there. But the Knight of Wands, when the butterflies in your belly start fluttering and you get excited and you're like, it would be amazing if that could happen though. That's your path. And even if that path feels a little bit riskier, you know, you've got that Fool card, which means you're about to take a leap of faith in a certain direction right now. And it's thrilling. And you may be a little bit nervous about it, but actually it is your truth and it is your path. Okay. So I'm not sure who is connecting to this or if it even makes sense, but I feel like you're making the right decision and it is going to bring you to a place of peace, of groundedness, because the Two of Swords, I always see it as someone who has tapped into their intuition, has grounded themselves, is protecting their energy, and is at peace with themselves because they knew that they made the right decision, because they listened to their intuition. Okay, so let's remove all of that and get back to the very core of you. Seven of Cups, you are more than just one thing or one energy there to one person. I feel like, you know, this is perhaps an energy of getting a little bit more integrated there. The Ace of Swords is an energy, especially in the position it's in right now, of you kind of owning your truth and living a life that you aspire to achieve and being proud of who you are and the path that you're taking. And it may be alternative because you have a lot of alternative cards here, and it doesn't matter if other people don't understand that. This is your truth and it is your life and it's the path that you are moving ahead on. And it says here, as I said, breakthrough, sharp mind, clarity. And because it's a crossing position, some of you are wrestling with a decision, which I definitely see you're going to make the right decision on that. But I feel with this Queen of Cups as your grounding card, I feel a lot of you, you're an empath first and foremost, and you give so much of yourself. And I feel that this is about, retaining some time and energy for you. And of course, you're going to still be caring and supportive and give so much of yourself out to others, but do not forget your own needs, because that can make you feel cranky or frustrated, or, you may feel that, and I'm just being given this, and this may not resonate with all of you. If you have a lot of responsibility, sometimes you may feel like your time or your life is not your own. Okay, that's something that's just coming out. And I feel like this is about taking it back and, really kind of investing in yourself and sitting with self and nurturing yourself, because the Queen of Cups is a nurturer. But often, this is a period of finding a little bit more comfort in your life and a little bit more groundedness. I mean, yes, there's a very fast-paced environment right now, and you're asking, does it ever get better? With the Queen of Cups, it does get better. This is you finding a place of comfort, most importantly, within yourself. Some of you may have grappled with confidence, because we have that Five of Wands there. It can indicate that there's a bit of an inner battle, and you're coming home to yourself. As you mature, you're learning to love yourself in a different way, give back to yourself, and, become the best friend to yourself that you always felt you needed. And maybe it's coming back to that energy of your friendships. Maybe you feel like your friendships have evolved or changed, or maybe there was a group of you and you feel scattered and it just feels like it's not aligning anymore. I feel there's this energy of you acknowledging that this is your time, and perhaps you've had some sort of scattering going on in your life in order to help you distance from people or situations that haven't given back to you in the same way, or that there's something else you need to do right now that is a priority. So it feels like you're quietening the noise in life, or, there's something here. I mean, there's a window right there, okay? And the window, of course, can be like a window of opportunity, or it is to see out into your vision of the future. Windows play an important symbolic kind of energy in our lives. It's like, a lot of you, because this is a card of comfort, it can be that you have been a little bit of a homebody over the last couple of years. Perhaps you've not been as integrated as you had wanted to be, or you want to get outside. It can be that it's like, what's out there? If you think about a window, the window is the barrier between where you feel like you are right now and where you should be, or where you feel you want to be. So it's like, open the window or get outside. This is the breakthrough. You are kind of moving past something that has, I don't want to say blocked you, because your Seven of Cups is in your foundation card. So it's like you will have the freedom to choose. I feel like there is a pathway that is opening up to you right now that helps you fly or reignite your spark in some way. And I feel, what I'm being given mainly with an image right now with this card is like, if you're inside, for example, I'm just seeing someone sitting on the floor inside, but they've just opened a window in their apartment or their house, and it's like this fresh air, like really like cleansing and just changing the energy in the room. So it can be like you're trying to, change the energy in your life, or you're trying to connect more with nature, or just refresh your life in some way. I'm not really sure what I'm being given here, but it is a sense of peace and sanctuary. And maybe you've just felt like life is speeding on by. You've always been in a rush, and now you just want to take a little bit more time, or you want to get a little bit more connected. I get this energy of freedom with this card, and that's not something that this card actually means. Okay, so perhaps it means something to somebody there, but if you think about window pane, so this could be something that you have been struggling with, and it's you really looking at it to dissect it, to be free of it at this time. But the main message that is coming out in your reading is to center yourself at this time, really give back to yourself, and also recognize that, there is a period upon you where you've been given a pause in life. If you felt that things, yes, they've been very fast paced, but you may feel like you've still been in the same position, rooted to the spot in some way. I feel there is this energy of you advancing or things remaining fast-paced. I got to be honest to you, I still see a fast-paced environment here, but I feel somehow it brings you peace, or it feels like you ground yourself in this, and it feels like it's the right path. Okay, we got the Temperance energy in your past position. As I mentioned, this is a Sagittarius card, so this can indicate that a lot of you feel like there's a version of you in the past that you feel like you disconnected from in order to be in self-preservation mode, or that you feel, you know, you want to reconnect to because you felt a little bit more balanced, you felt a little bit more like you knew where you were at or what was to come. It's almost like, okay, I'm just going to give it to you the way it's coming through right now. Again, it may not resonate with everyone, but what I'm being given is like, in the past, maybe like 5-6 years ago, you may have felt like, of course, you didn't know what the future holds, but you had a certain vision of what you aspired to achieve. You felt like you had a direction right now. And sometimes, especially when like a monumental change comes in the world at large, for example, or in personal circumstances, it feels like suddenly things are up in the air, or it's like now you feel like it's hard to think long term, or it's hard to, I'm just mentioning the change because there's so many butterflies here. Something within you has changed, but it's a response because you have the Knight of Swords there. It's a response from something that either was thrust upon you that you feel wasn't fair, and it's almost like you're trying to recalibrate and trying to look at your goals and dreams and find meaning and purpose in them. Before, you had meaning and purpose in them. And purpose, of course, can be just to get from A to Z, right? So your purpose is to lock onto a vision of what you want and accomplish it. And I can tell you now, that's something you will do. Okay, in your future, you're going to be so proud of yourself. You reached the pinnacle point of where you want to be. There's a groundedness there. You've taken ownership, and there is a solid foundation. So, but there's this other thing where it's like, okay, there is something I would like to do, and then there's something that I'm forced to do because of responsibility. And the two haven't co-aligned here with that Seven of Cups. It feels like at odds with each other right now, and you're trying to find your way back to this sense of connecting to perhaps your emotions regarding it. Probably not expressing myself in the right way here with what my guides are giving me for the energy. Maybe that's why, you know, the Seven of Cups is like, well, I don't know how I feel. I feel many things about many different moments. And it's like, you may feel that the way you feel about things, people, situations, environments has completely changed. And you're like, when did it change? Or how? And will I ever get back to feeling fulfilled within that? So, for example, if you've got a hobby that you used to do many years ago and used to love it, be completely submerged in it, it's like, how did that version of me fall out of love with that hobby when I was so submerged in it? Or how did it suddenly become that I'm numb, or I just don't feel the same way I used to? That's because this card's in the past position, and you're trying to, you know, get back to some sort of feeling or trust your intuition on something. But that Seven of Cups can indicate that you're searching. It feels like something is different. I mean, the world is different right now. After the last couple of years, it feels like everything is upside down. You may not even recognize the world that you once knew, and that brings a lot of pressure, a lot of soul searching. It also gives you an energy that you're not quite lost in all of this. You know, you're still locked on to your sense of who you kind of are, but you're still questioning, and you're still locked on to your sense of destination of where you want to be, or you have like an inkling of where it is or how you want it to pan out for you. But you may be like feeling an uncomfortable shift, that you're undergoing a transformation, and it's like your old self is in a transition period where you are merging into the new you. You're wanting new things, new like pathways, and it just feels like everything is new because you've got that Fool card, but it's like you wonder how it got to this, and you are like, okay, well, I can be flexible in the changes, and they've brought a lot of responsibilities there. I feel there is a sensitivity about this because this is a card of sensitivity. But it's like you want to fall back in love with your life again. You want to fall back in love with your childlike spirit again, have that kind of like heaviness lifted so that you can, have fun, adventure, have moments of that spark returning. And this is your potential position. So I want you to be aware that that is all going to return. Sometimes, especially when we go through monumental change, whatever that is, it doesn't have to be in terms of the world. It could be something personal to you. Sometimes the body goes into this fight or flight mode. That's what that Seven of Cups can be. And it's like, okay, what version of me do I need right now to cope as a mechanism with this situation? And it doesn't abandon all other aspects of self, but it locks onto one kind of bodily skill, as it were, or one mental skill in order to retain a sense of preservation, if that makes sense. So some of you may be kind of like coming out of that now and starting to unfold and trying to retain your sense of playfulness or, find your passions or lean in more to your passion. So it says here, action, adventure, and fearlessness. I would say a lot of you, if you're making a decision right now, this is the way to move forward. Life is short. Explore the, exciting path. So I feel like you are protected to do so. Do your due diligence, get the facts. The Ace of Swords indicates that you have an incredible mind. You also will have a breakthrough when it comes to information, informing you as to which change you're making or what path you are taking. It feels like it's a logical decision, but at the same time, you're passionate about it and you feel something about it as well. But it also says fearlessness. So it is really about you connecting to a sense of, if you knew that you couldn't fail in a situation, what would you do differently in your life right now? Okay. And also I want you to be aware, my guides are telling me, like, there's no such thing as failure. And this has come up before. We try things out, we explore, and you have 2 exploration cards right here. And sometimes life does not afford us the luxury to be able to explore because we're so busy doing life. The heaviness of the life, of the responsibilities is upon us. So I feel this is about you creating a pathway in order to explore. But, we try things out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean it's a setback. It's a set up towards exploring another path or an alternative way of doing something. The greatest minds of our time didn't wake up one morning and say, you know what, I know how to invent the light bulb. No, they trialed and errored, and they looked at what worked and what didn't work. They tweaked the plan, and then they had their eureka moment. The one thing they had in common was they saw a setback as a setup as to how to try something new and different. See it as an explorative phase in your life because, if we were all afraid of failing, then none of us would ever do anything. So I feel that's not your character, and I feel that you're on the precipice right now of a monumental shift in your life that you've been going through perhaps even for a couple of years. But this shift is going to lead you to a lot of excitement, a lot of fun, a lot of passion, and, you may have needed that pause in life. Even though you're busy and you're exhausted there with that 7 of Cups, you needed that pause to get clear so that you could move ahead with passion. So you could rediscover your joy and find that groundedness. If you have a look at the circle in this card, and you look at the rock in the background, the rock is balancing precariously on a situation there. So if you have a look, there's stuff chipped away there. That rock, it is fully balanced. It's secure. So you may feel that, yes, there is a challenging situation or something that you need to move through right now, but you are secure. And this figure is completely centered. So a lot of you may be wanting to get into alignment with your life because this is a declaration to self. Something needs to change so that you can be balanced, locked onto a sense of purpose, but also that you kind of encompass all the energy that you need to in accordance with your chakras. Not everybody's going to talk like that, of course, but each chakra has a meaning and a purpose. Your base chakra, of course, is going to be about grounding yourself and, doing things that you need to do, like your responsibilities. Okay, so it's very practical in its energy. And the further up you go, of course, you elevate in your connection to your higher self, and as you can see, it kind of stops just before the third eye energy, this circle. And this, again, may not resonate with all of you. I feel like a lot of you are on a precipice of seeing. So it could be that you're about to develop your spiritual gifts, or you actually see things that other people don't see. But the Ace of Swords is like, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it because there's so much like destruction or unfairness, or there's so much going on right now that is, you know, out of balance and is challenging. And it's like, you're aware of it. You're the sort of person who would do something about it, but it's overwhelming. So you may have stepped back from things like social media and news sources, clickbait, all of those things, because you're trying to protect your inner peace at this time. And in all of the noise, you're trying to rediscover yourself, if that makes sense, and come back to your very base chakra and then align. I feel importantly, your sacral chakra. Now, again, you know, if you don't tend to think in these terms, perhaps this is something you will start to explore. But your sacral chakra, this is about your taking action. It's, you finding that spirit, that spark, leaning into your gut instinct, trusting your intuition there. And I feel this is where you're going to spend a lot of your energy and your life force, as it were, in the coming weeks and months. Taking action, moving ahead, being successful, having a gut instinct, and making the right decisions. And I feel this is an exciting time for you. We've got that Eight of Pentacles there. A lot of you, as I said, this is coming home to self. The Eight of Pentacles indicates that you've been working hard, you've been practical, you found yourself in some sort of routine or repetitive cycle, and to some degree, that's not going to change, okay? That's life. But you also have to factor in alternatives in order to keep life moving forward and fresh and, retain that spark of curiosity. Easier said than done, I know, but this is like almost you reconnecting to your inner child, okay? And I feel the thing that's kind of blocking it, if you have a look at the spread from my perspective, you've got that Knight of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles here, and then the Fool card. So this can indicate that, yeah, you'd love to go off and, be footloose and fancy free and do all of the stuff, but you have a keen sense of responsibility and you got work to do right now, and you're gaining knowledge about yourself. So 8 is the number of the self. So I feel a lot of you been learning more about your passions, where you feel stuck, stifled, scattered, where you've been questioning, where you felt on uneven ground, as it were, in life, and you're coming back into balance. It says here, diligence, passion, and high standards. So of course, as you elevate, because I feel a lot of you are going through a spiritual awakening right now, but I also see that, friendships or environments may be changing, and you just feel a little bit at odds with these changes because you're like, when did it change? And why do I feel so on the outside looking in with these changes? You know that something is different, and perhaps with that Seven of Cups and the crossing card of the Ace of Swords, it's like you're trying to pinpoint what it is that's changed. And a lot of you have been looking to yourself in these changes and saying, well, is it me? Is it me? Well, yes, a lot has changed within yourself, but also circumstances outside of yourself. It is an amalgamation of all of that. And, I feel with this Eight of Pentacles here, you're choosing at this time to pause and give back to yourself so that you can elevate in your life, to reach for more. I mean, this is an apprentice card, so it means that you are kind of like learning a lot of lessons in life that perhaps have felt like a big gear shift right now. And it's to help you elevate. You are protected in your endeavors. I want you to be aware of that. But this is an energy of being resilient, I would say. This is structure. This is like, okay, if I just keep my head down, keep working, I'll be secure. A lot of you, this could be a worry about money, finances, or building a life that you hope brings security, as it were. I feel this is a card of you thinking of your future, and it will pay off. I feel like your future self will really thank you for everything that you're going through right now, but you're carefully dissecting all aspects of your life to ask yourself, is this fulfilling? What is the missing ingredient? And you're discovering that the missing ingredient is your own spark to some degree. Now, again, this may not resonate with all of you, but I have to honor the cards that are coming out right now. Your advice to yourself in this moment is like, have fun, be more playful. Don't attach yourself to an outcome And a lot of you are like, maybe if I don't attach myself to an outcome, I won't get frustrated, angry, disappointed, let's just see how it goes. But in all of that, you may have lost this sense of pushing on through, if that makes sense. Because I feel like you push through, but in a different way. And again, I feel like I'm not articulating myself correctly in the energy that my guides are giving me. I'll always be honest. I'm not just going to like make something up for you or try and make it fit. But it's this sense of like, well, what am I feeling? What is this? And you're just doing a lot of questioning right now is what I'm seeing there. I mean, it says here, innocence, wonder, foolishness. Okay. And I mean, you may have encountered people who have been foolish, or you may be like not wanting to waste your time. You may feel that, going off and like spending time doing something random and spontaneous, because you have so much responsibility on your shoulders right now, it may feel foolish to you that going off and doing that, you could be doing something else that helps you feel secure. But balance and variety is a spice of life. It's so important. If you do one thing so much, you will ground yourself down if you're not factoring in other things. So I feel this Seven of Cups is like, open yourself up a little bit more. And again, a lot of you are going to be like, I'm trying, Baba, but it's so hard. Or no, that's not it at all. But I have to accept and acknowledge that the Fool card is your advice to yourself in this moment, which means have more fun, be playful, be spontaneous, open up to a new pathway, maybe try a new beginning. Or because you have the Five of Wands, there seems to be outside of yourself so much conflict. So the Five of Wands can be there's a lot of competition, or it can be that people that were once a friend, an alliance, they're now in competition with you, or you may feel there's conflict there with this person or situation. You may feel like the whole world is completely in conflict at this moment in time, which of course we know that to be true. And the vibrations are of course making people feel scattered and uncertain about the future, what is to come. There's a lot of rhetoric and talk about advancements in conflict. And, you may be feeling like, well, how do I fit into all this? You may feel scattered in those thoughts. And the Eight of Pentacles is like, okay, just lock onto the practical side of life. Just get busy with your projects. Just do what you got to do and lock down on that. But there's a part of you that's like, live in the moment, be spontaneous, enjoy the path, open yourself up to more fun. Because collectively, let's like remove the whole energy. Collectively, our energy really matters. Collectively in the world, if so much of us came together, so many of us came together in a moment, in even like one day, billions of us around the world stop for a moment and just had fun, had one big party, listened to music or raised our vibrations, we would have the potential to shatter some of the conflict and the negativity and bad vibrations that are going on in this world. There's a reason why every day you're bombarded with negative news, okay? It is to keep you stuck. Every word that is used is there to trigger a response within you. I always say, people should be mindful of the words that they use because, of course, some words have double meanings and they trigger or provoke a feeling. It comes back to your earthly plane position, which is like feeling. It is about how do you feel about things and what is the emotion behind the words or the things that we see. So everything has a knock-on effect. And I feel like a lot of you are trying to remove yourself from those things because you're aware so that it comes back to, self, but also, trying to live in the moment because the Fool lives in the moment. The Fool is like, okay, I want to have an adventure. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm going to try it. So I feel right now you're on that precipice of change and trying something that you don't know how it's going to work out. I can show you right now with that Knight of Swords that, it is going to be very fast paced, but it is your truth. And with that Four of Pentacles, it is consciously going to bring you security, or you're going to be really proud of yourself. And it feels very much like you're in control of the situation and concentrating your energy to making a major difference in your life. Okay, you're going to be so proud of yourself, whatever this is. But this is the card where it's like circumstances outside of yourself. And it says here, competition, conflict, and of course, reality. The reality is there's so many kind of challenging energies right now and so much change, but this can be like an inner battle card, but because it's in the position it's in, circumstances outside of yourself, you feel that life is constantly testing you right now, that is constantly a battle, or it's constantly very changeable, and you're trying to navigate your way through all of this, and you're so fed up. You just want to break through. You just want to see if it's going to pan out for you. I am excited by the Five of Wands in a way, because the Five of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot has 5 people, okay, all with their wands trying to make something fit, okay, and they're trying to create a star. And it means that things are at a gear shift period in your life right now, whether that's something within yourself or outside of yourself, but it's all going to come together, okay? It may feel a little bit clunky at first. If you think about the butterfly, it goes into the chrysalis, it dissolves its structure, its sense of self first. Okay, and you may be feeling with that Seven of Cups that life as you once knew it has somehow dissolved its sense of structure or your knowingness of it, and you're doing a lot of questioning right now and exploring different pathways because you're about to emerge in a new chapter of your life, and I feel everything is going to come together as it should. Now, as you can see with this figure there, they're kind of like pretty chill. They're sort of accepting that things are challenging right now. And of course, we all have to just accept what is the reality of our life and build a structure around that. But I feel like this is acknowledging that things are going to get infinitely better, and you're going to feel more relaxed in the decisions you're making and the way that things are going to work out for you, because I see them working out for you. We do have that Seven of Swords energy. Now, Seven of Swords, a lot of people initially call it like a deception card. So you may feel like there's a lot of like deception or a lot of negative things going on in the world, a lot of betrayal of trust. Now this can be globally, can be in institutions, for example, that are governing our world. This could also be something more localized to you, or perhaps there's someone that you are a little bit at odds with right now in your life, someone that you had a connection with, you know, that you have a lot of time for. Could be someone in your family, could be, you know, a friend, it could be an ex, it could be a partner, you know, whoever it is. I feel there's this energy of like questioning the actual truth of a situation. You may feel something is being withheld from you and you feel a little bit off center because of this, because there was trust before, or there was a sense of knowingness before, and now you're like, well, now I don't know. But you're going to find out, because the truth always comes out, okay? Especially with that Ace of Swords there. So if this is something personal to you, the truth will out, and you'll move on from this. You'll sever ties with this, and I feel like you'll protect your inner peace. It's a difficult choice. It's hard to make that choice, to remove yourself from someone who is not aligned with you in a healthy way. But it is a choice you have to make, and it is one you will make there. And this person or the situation will try to make amends with you as well. And of course, that's your prerogative how you deal with that later on. There can be healing in a situation, but if I know a Sagittarian, once a line is crossed, you're gone. You had a chance, you blew it. Sagittarius ain't coming back. So I feel, you know, a lot of you are, you know, removing yourself from situations like that. But, you know, the Seven of Swords is often a very misunderstood card. The history of the Seven of Swords, it's actually really positive because it's a golden yellow card. It normally shows up like that. Symbolically, that's a positive energy. It also indicates that, you know, there is a sense of independence with that card. So a lot of you are like, you want to retain your sense of independence, especially with the Knight of Wands. And you may be witnessing structures right now that you feel are trying to limit your freedom or limit your sense of being able to be independent in some shape or form. And you may be like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this, but it doesn't feel right. And you may be exploring a way to confront it, challenge it. Five of Wands is to challenge. It is a challenging card. So it can be that you're standing up for something there, but also it can be that you're just being super honest with yourself, with your goals and dreams. And there's things that you practically have to do, but things you really want to do that you may not have gotten around to be able to do. And you're going to be able to kind of like be stricter with yourself or hold yourself to higher standards to make sure that you co-align with what it is that you want to accomplish, and not scatter your time or your energy with things that are like not your drama or not your business. Or it's like you're coming back to self, as it were, your basic needs, but also your wants, your desires. So You know, the Seven of Swords can be this nonconformity or this independence, living life on your own terms without people pleasing. You may have a lot of people, especially with that Five of Wands there, who like to give their 2 cents about how you should be running your life. They may be coming from a place of love, giving you guidance or advice, but no one can teach you how to run your life because they don't walk in your shoes. So you are someone who is taking ownership of your life and where you spend your time, your focus there as well. And, you know, if they don't get how you run your life, that's fine, because it's not their life to run. They should be involved in their own and not interfering with yours. So I feel this is about, again, retaining your sense of control over a situation. Now, also, the Seven of Swords can indicate that life has been so quick that you feel like you're always in a rush and you don't want to make a mistake in life, so you're trying to slow down the energy. You're yearning for something more. You're breaking free from something that perhaps you feel you must do by yourself for some of you. You could spend time with people that you really care about and you don't want to disappoint them or let them down by saying, you know what, actually, I just want my own time. I just want to go off and do my own thing. That's okay. That's your prerogative. The balance in that, spending time with the people you care about, living in the moment, but also going off and being wild and free is important. And you must honor the call. I would say right now you're accepting the call of your wild, right? That's literally how I feel you are trying to come back home to self, to be more bold, more daring there as well. Now, of course, this is a hope and a fear position. So a lot of you, where you feel things have been unfair, especially since the Seven of Swords is in the resistance position there, you hope for a fair time. You hope for things to be corrected. You hope for, you know, all this kind of deception, if there is any deception, because of course not everybody is going to be like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. You hope that things like be corrected or people be punished, or, you know, I don't see that you're the sort of person who wants punishment. My beautiful Sagittarians, I don't feel like you want that sort of retribution. You're not that sort of person. You tend to just want karma, to deal with things to make it right, if that makes sense. So, you know, I take back that word because I feel more than anything, if something has been unfair, you just want it to be right. You just want it to co-align with a sense of truth and fairness. So that's coming out there as well. Again, not all of you will be dealing with something like that, but I had to honor the energy that popped out there. Now we've got the Knight of Swords, okay? It says there, action, defending beliefs. Yes, with that Five of Wands, I see that there. And there's also an energy of impulsiveness. I feel like with that Seven of Cups, you're not so impulsive these days. I feel there's this energy of being more in an energy of ruminating, deep in thought. That's why the Seven of Cups is there, because you're like, let's think about that situation. And then that one, you know, I feel this is about you locking onto your sense of truth after you've decided a way forward. And that's why you may have felt like you've been given some sort of like spiritual pause, as it were, to consider your options. But the Knight of Swords is about adapting to your environment, making lifestyle changes and choices that are in alignment with your truth. And also this is about you protecting your boundaries, adapting to a new way of behaving. But also I feel things are aligning for your highest good. This is a card of course, indicating that you are going to have some movements and improvements. You're very savvy. You have an incredible mind, and that, you know, this is your future energy. So it tells me that the way you're going right now and the decisions you're making, things will be going great for you. Okay. They will work out for your highest order. And we have the Four of Pentacles, conservation, security, and frugality. I mean, financially, a lot of you are keeping an eye on the economy or keeping an eye on your finances to make sure that you are secure. The Four of Pentacles often means that sometimes we hold on to a sense of structure or a sense of needing security in our lives. And the cautionary tale with this is that sometimes we hold on so tightly that we have to ask ourselves, am I having fun yet? And if the answer is no, then you need to let go. This is a card of letting go and recognizing that you're protected to explore. Okay, so a lot of you may have been holding on to something maybe that was unfair, or you may have been holding on to, you know, a way of life as a trauma response or a fight or flight mode response, and you've been in survival mode. for some of you. Not all of you, but looking at the cards, to have a Seven of Cups feeling a bit scattered at first, it can tell me that something happened to create that in the first place, and you've been responding ever since. But there is a stability. There is an energy of coming home to self, and also a grounding and a foundation where you are secure long term, okay? Whether that's financial, whether that is in terms of how you feel, but there is an energy here of pursuing happiness and joy, because your final cards there, the centerpiece is the sun. The sun is an energy of flourishing. It, of course, is an awakening. So a lot of you are seeing things that other people don't see right now, and you feel really scattered, trying to make decisions. Well, where do I feel secure? There's a lot of change going on in the world. Where should I be? Where should I end up? A lot of you may be having these thoughts right now. But I want you to be aware you're protected and directed accordingly. Trust your intuition. Foster that connection with self, and your heart will lead you to where you need to be. And some of you are needing to be exactly where you're at, right? So with that Four of Pentacles, I feel this is a conservation of understanding where you feel you need to be. Where is home? And a lot of you are coming home to self at this moment in time. But I feel with that Two of Swords there, that is a need to protect yourself from perhaps other people's opinions, or the, I want to say, the scatteredness of energy, the clickbait, the flurry of kind of, how can I put that? My guides are giving me a specific energy here. It's really interesting because only with your reading have I really questioned the energy of what this means or how it feels. And maybe that's part of what you're going through right now. But normally I'm just like on it, very precise with the energy. But now I'm really like carefully dissecting what it is that my guides are giving me specifically. So I feel that is also relevant in your reading. But it's almost like protecting your inner peace from like clickbait. Because, for example, you could be going about your day and going, okay, today's going to be a great day. I'm off doing my own thing. And then suddenly you pick up your cell phone and you see, oh my gosh, the world is ending in 30 seconds. Click this link. And you're like, oh. So you may like go, I'm not going to click that link, but you've read it now. You've absorbed it, because this is a card of having a lot of empathy, being sensitive in your emotions to the fact that you absorb the energy. So you've seen it. You know, so it can be that perhaps you are thinking about limiting how people or things outside of yourself trigger conflict, drama. I mean, this could literally be that you're removing yourself from people who are close to you, that are always in some sort of like dramatic conflict or argument, or they always bring drama to your door. And you're like, you know what? I just need to preserve my energy, because you have the conservation card there as well. It's like, no, not today, just gonna be like doing me. So I feel a lot of you are distancing yourself or keeping that drama at arm's length in order to protect your, I want to say, nervous system. Okay, that's what I'm feeling there. So a lot of you, there may be this hypervigilance or this extra sensitivity regarding your reactions, because a lot of your cards are like reactory, kind of like energy. So again, that may not resonate with everyone, but I feel like you are closing down the access to that so that you preserve and feel calmer in your energy. Okay. Now it says here, difficult choices, indecision, and stalemate. But we've got that Knight of Swords there. So where you have been sitting on the fence of a decision, you're going to make a decision. It is your truth. You're running with it. You're secure in it. And you sat with self and you found clarity. So I feel honoring the path of knowingness deep inside of yourself, it's the way forward. But sometimes in order to find the path of knowingness, we have to first not know. We have to explore options. So I would say this is a highly explorative time for you, and you're looking at what works, what doesn't work. I mean, Two of Swords is an energy that you are in a very, I would say, a unique situation where I would say you're protected. You're trying to, honor your peace of mind, to figure out your truth of a situation, and needing to find inner balance. That's what I feel. It's like you're needing to find inner balance inside and outside of yourself in life. No matter what's going on, you're trying to center yourself. And you may have felt it was easier in the past, not so easy now, but you're going to return to that sense of balance, okay? So we have the Fool card and we have the High Priestess energy, okay? So the Fool card is showing up again for you. This is your advice to yourself in this moment position. And I would say, I mean, that's your advice to yourself. Listen to yourself. The answers are within you. You know the way. But again, the Fool is indicating there's a new pathway opening up for you, and you may feel a little bit nervous about that or cautious about that, but it is the way forward, and it's going to be very exciting long term. It says, in order to succeed, you must find new ways to bring about the achievement of your goals. So, I don't know, working smarter, not harder, or finding alternative ways. I mean, Seven of Cups can be like, if you're in a career, it can be to automate something. You're going to be doing many things. I mean, it's clear you're doing many things right now. Is there a way to streamline your life in some way, a pathway that you've not thought about, that you will lock onto, that helps open up more time for you? It can be that simple. I do see a lot of you just really trying to simplify your life right now, okay? And we've also got the High Priestess. A lot of you fostering a knowingness or tapping into your spiritual gifts at this time. You may have flashes of insight, dreams that are prophetic as well. But it says here, you are on course to receive real rewards, but only if you continue your discipline and motivation. Follow your intuition, and you're heading towards a long-lasting contentment of success. Okay, success looks differently for everybody, of course, but you're locking on to your vision of what it means for you. I mean, also there's a peacock on that card. I would say having more confidence within yourself, knowing that you're attractive both inside and out. You know, maybe embracing a little bit more flamboyance in your world, to shine your light and say, here I am, this is me. And, you know, just be your wonderful, authentic self, which I feel like you are always, okay? But I feel perhaps life made you feel a little bit scattered or quiet over the last couple of years. And now it's about, you know, reactivating that Sagittariusness within you and being that adventurous, go-getting spirit that is still within you. It's not gone away, and it's re-emerging. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or room before we close. Okay, so we have, we have Pegasus. Of course we do. Pegasus, of course, is the winged horse. It always connects to the Ace of Swords. Look it up. It always connects to the Ace of Swords. And you've got the Ace of Swords, which is a breakthrough. It means destiny and fate, and also the law of karma. Law of karma is, you know, retribution for anything that you feel has been unfair. But also this is like you receiving meaningful coincidences and signs that things are happening in your favor. And they're going to happen with great velocity and speed. And you're going to see quick results, and you're going to be moving forward. But new information will help inform you. So that's why you're asked to explore your options at this time, because there may be new information that comes forward to help you on your path. So I'll leave it there. I hope it resonates with someone out there, because that was a bit of a wild card kind of reading. So it may not resonate with all of you, but I hope some of you found something in it to help. So thank you so much, my beautiful Sagittarians, and love and light.